Hi guys, welcome to Xcom 2. This is the modded collection, the core collection.
COPD isn't free. It's tough to breathe. It's tough to keep wondering. This is as good as it gets. But Trelegy has shown me that there's still beauty for it.
Oh, I like this part.
Because with 3 medicines and 1 inhaler, Trelegy keeps my airways open and prevents future flares. And with 1 dose a day, Trelegy improves lung function, so I can breathe more freely all day and night. Trelegy won't replace the rest of your sudden breathing problems. Tell your doctor. High blood pressure before taking it. Trelegy may increase your risk of thrush, pneumonia, and all. Call your doctor for some breathing, chest pain, mouth or tongue swelling, problems urinate, vision changes, or eye pain. Ask your doctor about once daily Trelegy for COPD, because breathing should be beautiful. As the candidates race toward the White House, America hopes for a clean and fair election. But few kids understand what that means. It's why my team created the Kids Guide to the Presidential Election. As your kids read it, they'll discover how elections are won and how to ensure that every single vote is counted and what happens when they're not. All future voters need this guide, and you can have it for free. To order, visit freeelectionguide.com. That's freeelectionguide.com.
I love your place.
Thanks. Could you grab some carrots?
Sure. What's this?
That's for Pepper.
You keep dog food in your fridge?
It's not dog food, it's fresh food. We'll eat, we'll veggies.
That's you feed your dog. So it's dog food.
It's not dog food, it's food food.
In 2 seconds, parents will realize how space.
It's not a house.
If the households will sell directly to OpenDoor. But my store's open. We'll handle the house.
Doctors recommend always feel softer for gentle, dependable, and constipation. Eat
Should they do?
Doctors even recommend it during pregnancy and after surgery. Folate increases water in the stool, making it softer so it's easier to go. No much laxatives cramping your stomach. Folate.
It's the BetMGM offer of the week. Get up to $1,500 back in bonus bets if your first bet doesn't win. For all the games in the playoff. Set your picks and shoot your shot. And turn any game into a must-watch. Download the BetMGM app and it's on. It's better outside with nature. Cookouts are better with master grills and charred barbecue smoking air fry. Backyard dashes are better with pizza ovens that give you crispy cookies. 7 roasting barbecue smoking. It's better outside with nature. Find a great deal for your ideal hotel. Open Chicago, type in where you want to go. Select your check-in and check-out dates and search. Compare prices for the same hotel and save up to $30 a month. Hotel Trivago. Nice Oakley, Stipe. Where'd you get them? GoVex.com. Hey, Stipe, nice boots. Where'd you get them? GoVex.com. Exclusive deals for first responders, military, and law enforcement only at GoVex.com.
How do you apply a whole body deodorant? I will demonstrate.
Take a few seconds out, apply it like a lotion. Hips, under boob, eyeballs, front crack.
This water-based cream, I'm telling you, it's invisible on the skin. It looks like a dream.
It is the 7 a.m. hour of Fox and Friends Weekend. Starting with this, Ivy League unrest. More pro-Hamas, anti-Israel protests taking place on so-called elite campuses. Taya Kyle is the widow of American sniper Chris Kyle and has a message for those young Americans.
Plus, the city of Chicago approving an additional $70 million in migrant funding, on top of the already $300 million already spent.
And talk about unplugged. Actor Tom Selleck, he's revealing he never sent an email or a text. Awesome. The second hour of Fox and Friends Weekend starts right now. Let's be friends. We were going to do quizzes, a skyline quiz. That's the skyline. And by the way, Pete, this is just for Pete for a moment. We would never have got that. I don't know. Come on, Pete.
Absolutely, that's Senate building, you know.
Never pretend you weren't going to get Louisville. You can't even find out. How many times have you been to Louisville? I've been to Louisville. Louisville? I don't say Louisville. But now we find out also that the producers were cheating and told Dr. Sapphire ahead of time that it was Louisville.
How did you hear that?
Because they told us now. They told you.
I think that you put it on the screen.
Louisville's looking.
Bladed armor.
Fine.
It would have. You were going to hold it out and then pop it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Let's giggle when we came in. We're going to talk about this moment. Tom Selleck has never sent an email or a text. And that's awesome. It is. And I also thought for a minute, me either, basically. Will notoriously does not answer his texts or phone calls. Yeah. Including producers who are calling him at the last minute wondering where he is. Now, be fair, that came up because you just said you ghosted all the producers calling you to make sure you were going to appear on your scheduled appearance on Fox. Correct. And I was on time, and they wanted it early. And then they call, and then they call again, and then they call again. Because some other producers tell me, where's Pete? Call, and I just get it. But I'll panic for another 30 seconds. And then you just fired up and you're there on time.
Meanwhile, I'm sitting here 15 minutes prior to show time, ready to go. I don't know where anybody else is, but I'm sitting right here.
That's the way it should be. You're ready to go, and we're glad that.
Thank you. Excited to be here.
All right, the stage is set for former President Donald Trump's hush money trial in New York City. Opening statements are scheduled for Monday as the full jury has been selected and sworn in. The 6 alternate jurors chosen yesterday. Judge Juan McCann denied Trump's request for an emergency stay while also
Okay, let's see.
Last month. The former president, of course, rightfully, calls it a political persecution.
What's happening here with the judicial system is an outrage. This is a giant witch hunt to try and hurt a campaign that is beating the worst president in history.
Meanwhile, this man is dead after he lit himself on fire outside the Manhattan courthouse shortly after the jury was finalized. Dozens of potential jurors were dismissed for saying they didn't believe they'd be fair, while others expressed anxiety
When I
over the
fucking
highly
feel like
publicized trial.
No doubt. I mean, this is going to be. We already had a few jurors that, based on the reports, who basically had been identified publicly because of the information that was tied to them. This is, I mean, imagine you're the one holdout inside that jury too. That's why this whole thing is so mucky. It's all Democrats, and what if someone made their way on with a different view? There's a lot of pressure there. I've been doing this a lot this past week on the Will Kane Show. Streams live at FoxNews.com. You know, I'm fascinated by juries, and I grew up in a family of lawyers, and I went to law school, so a lot of my friends are attorneys, and I talked a lot about this. And by the way, yesterday on the plane ride up here, I rewatched 12 Angry Men, and I asked one of my friends who was a trial attorney, in your entire life, have you ever had a situation 12 Angry Men? Now, the reason he knows that the point I'm getting at is, he said the fundamental human instinct, it's not left. Okay. Not fall outside. Fortunately, human beings want to be a part of the group. Let's set aside left right for a moment. What they tried to do this week in picking a jury, quite honestly, is team for Donald Trump. Find somebody restrained. Find somebody willing to be restrained. It's a rarity. Because what's going to happen, to your point, Pete, is you're going to have 11 most likely people hating Donald Trump, and one person impartial. And the isn't just 11 others. Outside. In the end, if it is 100, then it's no. Go back. We will not declare in this trial. Work it out.
Well, actually, let's take a look. Let's take this outside of the courtroom for just a second, and what we have seen just throughout our nation over the last several years when it comes to support for Donald Trump. You have people who outwardly say that they do not feel comfortable discussing their views with their family, with their friends, with their colleagues or employers because of fear of being persecuted for supporting Donald Trump. So I believe that the courtroom left or right. I think that Donald Trump and people feel so persecuted for supporting him that I think there's no way that that's not going to infiltrate the jury room.
For sure, absolutely. I mean, there's an expectation that the presumption of what we're talking about is that 11 people. I don't think there's such thing as an impartial person in America.
when it comes to Donald Trump. Either side. So no way. 11 of them will be partial to being antagonistic to Donald Trump. Right. And even if you have somebody who's like, well, I just need to understand the facts and be impartial, okay, that's awesome, but you better also be strong to withstand that peer pressure.
And we can look at basic descriptors of these people and try to put things together. All right, we're moving on to another story this morning as well. The FBI searching, subpoenas to Dolton, Illinois Mayor Tiffany Henyard and other village officials over corruption accusations.
Now, joins us with the details. Good morning, Madeline.
Good morning, guys. The FBI says they conducted a court-authorized law enforcement activity in the area of Dolton, Illinois. 4 agents from the FBI served 2 federal subpoenas on Friday to obtain personnel and business records. Dolton and its mayor, Tiffany Henyard, have been embroiled in a scandal for weeks. Henyard and a village trustee are named in a sexual assault lawsuit. Henyard is also accused of misusing funds, spending large amounts of taxpayers' money on lavish trips and security detail. At one point, she billed the village nearly $8,000 for a glam and makeup team over just 2 months, listing it as an assistant cost. That's despite her nearly $300,000 salary, which is higher than the state's governor. Earlier this month, the village board hired former Chicago Mayor Lori Lightfoot as a special investigator to look into the allegations of corruption.
We don't know how our money is being spent. We are about at a $7 million deficit because the
Fucking
board of trustees who handle the money, they haven't received any of their documentation. We can only assume that it's at $7 million and growing.
Henyard has a statement out on Facebook saying, to all you clowns that's a part of this circus, misery means company. I pray for you all. Stop chasing fake news. Will, Nicole, and Pete.
All right, let's stay in the area. We'll stay with Chicago. And we can look at the border crisis there. Chicago has its own crisis among attraction of illegal immigrants because it's like many of these big democratic cities, it's a sanctuary city for illegality. It's also been a destination for many Republican governors who sent illegal immigrants out to sanctuary cities. And as such, yeah, there's an illegal immigration crisis now in Chicago, and they're having to spend more money, or they're choosing to spend more money. The city council has approved $70 million in funding for illegal immigrants.
70 million more.
They gotta be at $300 million.
Right. There you are. Based upon almost 40,000 new arrivals.
It's incredible, by the way. This is a city that's already broke. Chicago facing $538 million budget shortfall in 2024.
Well, let's go beyond just talking about the money as well. What about the people of Chicago, the actual, the citizens of Chicago who are, plagued with high crime rates, high prices, difficult access to a lot of the resources, and now they're taking in a large amount of migrants because the Democratic politicians have declared them a sanctuary state and city, and rather than focusing on already the needs of their citizens, they are now using already limited resources on others.
Well, it's illegals first. Here's Chicago alderman speaking out against more money, speaking up for the citizens, saying,
As long as we continue to fund this problem, they will continue to come to Chicago. Now, from what I understand, there's absolutely no crime in Venezuela right now. Why? Because they
My concern is that in July, we're going to ask for another 60, 70, or $80 million. You know what we're going to do? We'll blame it on the DNC, or we'll blame it on the bad man, the Texas governor. And we'll try to shine the light away from what we're agreeing on right now. That's what we'll do. And where's the money going? Who's the money getting? Who's getting the money? Good question. It ain't Chicagoans. It ain't the migrants.
And they're right, though. If they're going to continue to allow all of these migrants to come into Chicago, they're going to need funding. Why? What have we seen at the migrant shelters? We're seeing tuberculosis cases, we're seeing measles cases, and other public health illnesses because they're congregating migrants into these small areas. It's not only dangerous for the migrants, it's dangerous for the surrounding communities.
I love the last question. I don't know the answer. Where is the money going? Rachel was here to talk about non-governmental organizations, NGOs, whether they're religious organizations or health organizations that get all this government money and provide all these services, but there's no oversight for them. They don't necessarily know who else is getting the money underneath it. All illegals, what are their backgrounds? We don't know. Changing the total demography of entire neighborhoods in Chicago and other cities, and their elected leaders are funding it, and they're continuing to fund it.
Who's this popular with? It's not popular with black inner city voters. It's not popular with, I don't know, Latino voters either. We've seen that when it comes to districts in South Texas flipping.
Reaper will save for the mission.
Believe in legality. So who's this benefit? How about this? Who does this benefit besides the politicians already in office that benefit from changing demographics in terms of the anticipation that this will help them through the electoral college or through the congressional map? Like what American, even if you're in identity politics, what American constituency goes, I love this.
Oops.
All this illegality.
The intention of changing the demographic of people.
We'll throw a rookie in there.
Taking away some of the restrictions and making it so that they potentially could be voting. I mean, this does feel very intentional. But who is this popular with? Well, it's popular with, if you look at the pollings who support Joe Biden, the educated white male who lives out in the suburbs behind their gates and who doesn't actually have to see this or deal with the migrant crisis that's happening in these cities.
Yeah, probably, elite white liberals. Probably a lot of the kids protesting in Columbia. They love it because it's a talking point for them about tearing down a system that's been evil forever. Open the doors up to the whole world. Right. All right, we're turning now to a few additional headlines.
We'll keep you on there.
Jury deliberations will resume Monday in the
Sharpshooter.
George Kelly, the Arizona rancher accused of killing
Shit.
The deadlocked panel failing to reach a verdict yesterday after meeting for 10 hours. Prosecutors say that Kelly shot and killed an unarmed illegal crossing his ranch that's located near the southern border. Kelly's attorney says his client saw a group of armed men and shot up.
Rookie Ranger.
Police in Maryland searching for a suspect this morning after 5 teens were shot in a park on Senior Skip Day. Gunfire erupting yesterday afternoon as hundreds of students gathered in a park to hold a water gun fight. Police say one of the victims is in critical condition and the others are stable. And police in Massachusetts say everyone is safe after a truck went airborne yesterday, landing on top of a few cars after hitting a building. Officers say the driver lost control of the truck, hitting a fire hydrant and slammed into the corner of a house before landing on the cars. A witness telling local outlets 2 people got out of the truck before running from the scene. Authorities are still looking for the 2. That's not easy to do. Really not easy. Interesting. And get this one. Actor Tom Selleck now revealing he is not a big fan of technology. In a recent interview, he told People magazine, "I've never sent my own email. I had a secretary. I've never texted anybody." The 79-year-old actor mentioned he relies on his wife, Jilly, to send texts for him. We want to know, are there certain forms of technology that you refuse to use? Oh, that's a great question. Friends at foxnews.com. Email us here at the show. Maybe somebody out there hasn't sent an email.
Is he saying that he said he didn't do it because he has a secretary, but then he's like he relies on his wife? So is his wife the secretary?
No, I think he probably got both.
It's both.
Probably both, right?
Do you have both goals? Is that why you respond to any text messages or emails? I have to text Pete to get you a message.
It's happened. You did that last week.
I guess I did.
That's just because going to my comfort. It was about your shoes. Yeah.
He liked my shoes.
Yeah, and Lawrence made fun of me this week because if I notice something I like it, I use that. And I make it that for my wife. And then it's a long story, but he accused me of being less alpha because I would know, like, hey, what are those men's jeans or those women's shoes or that women's perfume?
No, I think it's perfect. That's what a good, thoughtful husband should do, is to look for things that the mother of his children would love. And speaking of mother of children, I just want to talk about my new book, Love Mom, mainly because it airs some details of the Xcom household, and I think it is a great read.
Well, congratulations, by the way, on your book.
Thank you.
Perfect for Mother's Day. Go get it. Love, Mom. And yes, I selfishly love chapter 15, which was about my life and our family.
Love Mom is a beautiful collection of inspirational motherhood stories, my own included. Richard Campbell's Duffy's in it. Jenny Hegseth is in it, and she tells a hilarious story about a
Shoot somebody.
family duck that involves duct tape and some other really interesting ways to keep the RV going.
Yep.
And
It's fun doing it because you work with every author of every chapter.
Yeah.
So they can tell their story about motherhood, what it's like. Every family's unique. You got a different approach. She really enjoyed doing it. Said you did a really nice job putting it together.
Thank you. Yeah, we touch on all the topics, not just the feel-good stuff. I mean, we talk about miscarriage, depression, divorce, adoption, a lot of things, all the ups and downs of motherhood. And I just find these stories to be so inspirational. I laughed, I cried putting it together, but it's all just a really good reminder. The beauty of motherhood, there's nothing more beautiful than being a mom, and we're stronger together.
It's awesome. You have all these interviews with some personalities from Fox News or the spouse of someone from Fox News, and you have it in categories like resilience, faith, purpose, valor, acceptance. Really cool.
Thank you.
Love Mom. FoxNewsBooks.com. Got crime on campus. The shocking stats leaving some students fearing for their safety.
And on Columbia's campus across the U.S. this week, pro-Hamas protests. That's Tucker. Tia Kyle is the widow of American sniper Chris Kyle. Her message to young Americans turning their backs on what her husband fought for. On her phone.
When you put up a hedgerow roxor and drive, you can count on staying nose to the grindstone. You'll be hay bale balling and heavy hauling, staying at it long after the cows come home. So, all day long, you stay strong. Get 0%
What the fuck?
thousands on the hedgerow roxor HD during our
Fuck.
spring sale. More real estate professionals list properties with Realtor.com than any other site. Really? Really? Trust the #1 app real estate professionals trust. Download the Realtor.com app today.
Have you noticed more bruising as you age? You're not alone. Now you can help improve the appearance of bruises with Dermed Moisturizing Bruise Formula. Help your bruised skin. Find Dermed Moisturizing Bruise Formula now in the first aid aisle.
1 second, Grandma. This guy's gonna buy my car.
If you need Carvana, entering plate number, no accidents, right? Generating offer, Carvana can pick it up tomorrow.
That's amazing.
Sell your car the easy way with Carvana.
Hi, I'm Chris. I lost 57 pounds on birth. Goal 1 isn't complicated. I don't have to follow a restricted diet, and I don't have to spend a lot of time making meals. Using Golo was truly transformative. It was easy and inexpensive.
We're giving away this 3-bedroom, 2.5-bath in the heart of the Ozark National Forest. You can win this cabinet for $1 million cash. Go to WorkFC.com today. Sign up.
There's no lifetime matches. She's unavailable in her longest damage now. What?
Only carousel patches work for up to 8 hours to reduce discoloration and
Now that's what I call immediacy.
Carousel nighttime patches. We've got you covered. When you can't watch, listen. Get the latest news, business, and news headlines on Sirius XM. Anytime, anywhere. Fox News Audio on Sirius XM. America is listening.
Reading of the story program. Working with my dogs and reading stories to them. Action. start but very thank you for your support. It allows our therapy dog program.
Heard rumors about some kind of shapeshifters.
Local legion, we're working with a different drug on a mission to support veterans, have fun, and to welcome everyone to our ranks. You don't have to be a veteran to join the Legion. And as a member, you'll join thousands of others serving our veterans, our communities, and our country. Oh yeah, and our Member First program will save you thousands on shopping, dining, products, and services across the country. Join us at legion.ca.
Massive protests breaking out at college campuses across the country as young people appear to be turning their backs on America and allies like Israel. Not appear to, they are.
Shit.
What does this mean for the future of our nation? Taya Kyle is the widow of American sniper Chris Kyle, the author of the new children's book, Prayers for Bears, and we'll get to that in a moment. She joins us now to discuss. Taya, thank you so much for being here. When you look at Americans on campus, young people, chanting slogans, outright supporting terrorist organizations, saying we want more October 7th, burning the American flag, recounting what your husband fought for, what does that make you think?
Well, I think you and my husband fought for freedom, right? And just like any good thing, freedom of speech can be abused. And I feel like this is a perfect example. It was intended for people to feel empowered and speak intelligently.
Excellent.
Not to do this, not to gather hatefully and speak hatefully against our government. We're Americans first. The anti-Semitism has no place in America. Furthermore, as a Christian, I look to Jesus as my example, and he knew how to peacefully disagree with people and go on about the business of doing good. This is, in my opinion, and I don't say this hatefully, I think this is ignorance. They're not educated. Maybe what they're doing is by culture, we just pick up protesting gathering.
I feel like we've gone back. We are leaders fought these foreign wars, sacrifices. And now we're hearing this, and our borders wide open.
Great.
Yeah, people right now just want to be a group. They don't want to be so isolated. So they're online and just without getting educated about what they're really standing for. Go in and ask intelligent questions. They don't have the answers. It's like they're just what are they doing? And it's very, very dangerous. A number of Jewish friends who are very concerned, and you're right. They're going back to sort of a Hitlerish environment, and they're proving it is a problem that people like you and me keep speaking out against.
Straight up hate. Jay, I want to talk about the title of the book is Prayers for Bears, written by you, obviously. Tell us about this book. It's about gratitude, getting through what feels, for you, obviously felt like an impossible situation. Share your story.
Thank you. I appreciate it, Pete. Yeah, I look at my kids today. They're 19 and 18, Colton and McKenna, and I think they're so spiritually sound and so intelligent. The level of maturity they got through hardship came from a number of things. And even in our worst days, we had a roof over our head. Everybody has that. We have our hands and our feet. Everybody has that. We have plenty of
Hitting us across the board.
Working on it. Something triggered your remote uplink. But how is that possible? No one knows these systems.
Shit. Power readings just spiked. What the hell is going on down there?
Dad?
Commander, I'm too old to start believing in ghosts, which means someone had to access that unit remotely. If they can access Rover,
there's no telling what else they might be able to do. I strongly suggest we make investigating that signal our top priority. Looks like Shen was able to confirm the signal's origin. Inputting the coordinates on the map now.
Avenger plotting new course.
The cooperation of these extremists will do little to unite the forces of your resistance.
Commander, the factions you have contacted are well equipped to track down the Chosen. Their knowledge will be invaluable in helping Xcom locate and eliminate these threats.
We already have a covert operation underway, Commander. It will take some time to complete.
Setting course for the East African sector.
I have made a number of interesting discoveries, Commander. The Advent officers appear to be similar, if not physically the same as the common Advent trooper in terms of power and agility. However, field reports indicate a more developed mental acuity, as the officers do provide tactical directives to the subordinate Advent forces. From my own experience, Advent generally deploys heavy security rather than subterfuge when it comes to...
Commander, we can now construct radio relays in any region where we've made contact with the local resistance.
I'm glad to see our joint effort paid off like we hoped.
Our friends in the Resistance have helped to pinpoint the location of our missing soldier. Commander, we've confirmed the position of the soldier being held captive by the Chosen. We now have an opportunity to launch a rescue operation. Commander, if we're gonna win this war, we need to take every chance we get to fight back. We'll have to be ready to engage the enemy during unpredictable situations, which require special planning and preparation.
Setting course for West Africa.
Commander, it looks like conditions on the ground are ripe for a quiet operation. If we can get our people into place, they should each have concealed positions to work with. positive confirmation that our captive soldier is being held in a high-security Advent detention center in this region. If we're going to pull a rescue off, our best approach is to go in quietly without alerting the massive number of security forces defending that installation. Intel has our operative being held in the main structure just ahead. We have the advantage of stealth here.